All right, so it's TexAgs Rewind. I'm David Nuno here on this Tuesday. Eric Casares is back. He's working the News and Social Center. He's an elite runner for Texas A&M. And you just told me a minute ago you've never been on this side of the desk.
Never been on this side of the desk. I feel very thrilled right now.
Yeah, you're rocking your 88. Happy with your Cowboys yesterday?
Of course. And of course, CeeDee Lamb got a touchdown, which is awesome. So funny thing, I got this jersey on Christmas Eve when the Cowboys played the Eagles. I got it the day of, and then I repped it when we went to go play the Eagles and on Christmas Eve, and it was a fun game. I had a blast, and of course, I had to bring it out. I think it's a good luck charm.
Yeah, it looks good, man. Looks good. So thanks for joining us again. And obviously, how many PRs did you get this year? You got a PR recently, didn't you?
Yep, PR in the mile, 4:02, 6-second PR. But I hadn't ran a legit one in 3 years, so I knew it was coming, but I just obviously didn't think it was going to be that big. So very, very great start to the season. Congratulations
to Eric Casares out there. All right, on the show today, we had the Go Hour and the big shots of the week. A couple of those Aggie basketball players. That's been the theme recently. A couple of these guys, you've heard their names quite a bit recently. All right, we also had Coach Henry in studio with this guy. This guy threw in a question or two. And then A&M Hoops. Can they keep that streak alive? John Pugliese joined the show. Adam Spencer of Saturday Down South joined the show to talk about all things SEC basketball. That and more. It is TexAgs Rewind. I'm going to do basketball to start. Okay, I think you know which direction I'm going, right? But I'm going to do it as a pair/individual. If we can show Julius Marble's stats over the last week on the big screen and show you what these two gentlemen have been doing. So, am I reading that correctly? 25 and 26 points, 7 of 14, 9 of 18, 5 rebounds, 20 rebounds on one side, 3 and 1. So if we put them together, we average it out, my friend, pretty darn good combined stats over the last 2 games. 51 points, 25 rebounds, 4 blocks, 3 steals there from Dexter Dennis and Julius Marble. 2 of the newest additions, they're not new now, but to Buzz's team, and they're living up to what we hoped they were going to be early on.
I would have to add Wade Taylor.
Sure.
Who scored 20 points against South Carolina. I can't remember right now off the top of my head how many he had against Missouri, but I know he was in double figures. I think it's probably around 14, maybe 16.
And that was mostly in the second half, if I remember correctly, right?
I think it was all in the second half.
All in the second half, yeah.
He was huge in the second half. So I think Wade Taylor is just playing great. What am I saying? They're all playing great right now.
They are.
The whole team's big shots right now.
They are a bunch of big shots, and we love it.
So is Damani Richardson for coming back, announcing that he's coming back.
That was a while ago, though.
Wasn't it last week?
Was it last week? Probably was. I don't know. It just feels like it was a long time ago because we're waiting to find out about maybe some other guys.
Yeah. I thought it was last week.
It might have been.
And you know what? If it was 2 weeks ago,
it doesn't matter. It's still a big shot. We'll do it next week, too.
That guy had the 2 biggest momentum-changing plays in A&M SEC victories.
It was January 1st that he declared.
Is that long ago?
Yeah.
Still a big shot.
Yeah, it's a huge shot. I'm going to throw one more.
All right, what else you got?
NFL level, Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk's playing great.
He is playing great. And you did correctly say, if we can have an opinion here, that he was the best free agent pickup last year or in this past season in the NFL.
I think so. And
8 catches, 78 yards.
Looks good in that uniform.
And a huge touchdown, and that come from behind.
I've always said that, it's not like this doesn't take amazing insight, just average eyesight. His first-round talent taken in the second round.
Yeah.
People do not understand how difficult it is to travel every single week, and now that we're in an environment where we're forced to do that, not having an indoor, do you look at that as kind of maybe a little bit of a bummer because you don't get home competitions, or are you looking at it in a way like, well, we get a better opportunity because we're forced to go to bigger meets now?
Yeah, it's not something that we want to do. It's not an environment that we want to have, but it's a have-to environment. So we're building a new facility, and it's going to be really nice, and so it forces us to do what we have to do. So we're on the road every weekend this year, including outdoor, because the building that they're building for indoor takes up an area for our throwing events that have to be moved. So it affects us all the way around. But I'll go backwards. To 2009 and 10, we had no indoor facility, And our outdoor facility, we couldn't have a track meet on our outdoor facility either. So we traveled every meet for probably 5 years when I first got here, every weekend. We kind of got to where it was a huge challenge for us, a fun challenge. We have to make this a fun challenge. And we were the national champions.
That's right.
You know, we didn't compete at home. We kind of lost our home community of people that come and watch track and field, and that's one of the biggest things about this is it's hard to go leave people that come to track meets. They have nowhere. They don't come to track meets this year, and that's not good.
Yeah.
But I think they understand it. We all understand it. You have to understand it. It's a fact. So we're going to deal with it.
Why do they get better? Teams get better during seasons a lot of times, but like there's a significant difference in the way Buzz teams get as a year goes on. At least, what is it, 3 years in a row of this?
Yeah, I think it's because of the complicated nature of the way that their defense is connected. It's not a simple overplay passing lanes, don't give up baseline penetration, guard 94 feet, all that stuff. They have a lot of rotations that are very specific to their defense that you may not have been taught before. They give up things that you may not have given up before. They have what looks like, a matchup zone that's really a switching man-to-man, that's really a 2-3 zone. Like they play in the full court. There's just a lot of moving parts to this. And it takes a while to get comfortable in that as a player where you're no longer thinking, you're just reacting. Right? And so Buzz's staff has to put those guys in those positions on a daily basis where they learn to react. They don't learn to think, right? Or they're beyond thinking. It's just, it's part of them now, right? They just do it. And I think it takes them time. And so I think that's a big piece to it. I'll also say that for 4 years now, this team has basically started over from scratch. I mean, Andre Gordon is the only guy from his recruiting class. Mm-hmm. That's a big kicker here. And then in the following year, you don't have that many guys left from the following year. So you're having to start over a lot. And it's not as simple as here's the ball, let's go play. You really got to teach these guys, hey, this is the expectation of you on the defensive end. This is how we're going to be successful. And then it's a lot of film study. It's a lot of work. And I think Buzz's teams, they adapt to it over time. And their staff does a really good job of building. I think we can finally maybe stop talking about the loss to Colorado and the loss to Murray State. That's my opinion. I think I think those are outliers. And I think when it comes to NCAA tournament time, if they can continue to win games in the SEC, right, which last year we saw them start 4-1 or 5-1, whatever it was, they're going to have to keep winning games. But I don't think we have to worry about those non-conference losses now. If they can stay along this path, they're not going to go undefeated in the league. They're not, all that stuff. But they can stay on this path. I think we can stop worrying about those games earlier.
Yeah, no doubt about this. Look, we're out of time, but I'll just ask you this: do you think Buzz? Does it take a special type of player to play for Buzz and maybe for Kelvin Sampson, or could a bunch of 5 stars flourish in this system? I mean, talent trumps all, but I feel like you have to have a different kind of hunger to work in this system. Is that fair?
I think you have to want to be a part of it, and not all 5 stars want to be a part of something that is this difficult. And that's just a reality. They have a lot of talented young people on this team, but you have to want to get this kind of coaching, this kind of mentorship. Buzz is a different cat, man. I never had anyone who treated these guys the way that he does in terms of what he's teaching on a daily basis. It all goes all over life, right? It's not just basketball. And so I think you have to want that. Your family has to want that. It does take a special student athlete.
Let's talk about SEC basketball. What do you think is the biggest storyline developing so far here in the early part of conference play?
Just overall, just Alabama. I mean, it's incredible. 40-point win over a good LSU team. That's nothing to to turn your nose up at. I mean, that's I know LSU's off to a kind of a rough start to SEC play here, and they really could be sitting at 1-6 at this next couple of games that they have on their schedule. But this is a really good Alabama team. Brandon Miller, I mean, people are saying he's playing his way into the top 10 of the NBA draft. I think he's just playing his way into the top 5 of the NBA draft. Like he's that good. And then y'all have been just a real upstart. I had written Texas A&M off after some of those non-conference losses, and so for them to be sitting here 4-0 in SEC play, I mean, that's a real credit to what Buzz Williams is doing, and keeping that pressure on the top of the SEC standings. That's important.
Eric, we're going to close out the show. You know what to tell the people.
Like, subscribe, rate, tell your friends.
Keep going.
Share it. What else did they do? I said rate, right? Yeah. I've never rated a show before, so
I didn't know you could on it, but yeah, I'm sure somewhere you can.
Definitely comment and like. Those are the most important things. And subscribe on the YouTube channel.
Tell your friends about it.
Tell your friends about it. And join in every single day, 8 to 11, TexAgs Radio.
He's Eric Asharis. He's fast. I'm David Nuno. I'm slow. We'll see you next time.